Nomad of the North, title track to the new album by Bill Pierce, which will be out in March of 2020. Watch for it. And thank you so much, Bill Pierce, for sharing right here on the David Bowers Awards. Our next guest is standing by with John Bon Jovial. Before we do, any closing comments on Bill Pierce's work?
Well, the guy's got a scorching guitar, that's for sure. And, that kind of, intense rock and roll, and nothing against Bill's ability, because he's just one hell of a guitarist. I don't know that I could take a whole album of it, but 10 or 15 minutes at a time of this kind of thing, yeah, I think I could really enjoy listening to it. I mean, his production values are good. His guitar work is flawless, but it's again, and I think this goes back to the fact that, as my kids put it, when I was a kid, the dinosaurs roamed the world with me. I prefer, the kind of the guitar work that I prefer is stuff like Doc Watson used to do, Jerry Garcia used to do, and that kind of thing. However, cannot take away one iota this guy's level of talent.
No, it's awesome. I think you're also going to like this next gentleman who's going to be joining us in about 3-4 minutes. He goes by the name of Brady Novotny. He's got a new album out. We're going to play the title track right now. We have a new release coming up a little bit later. But first, here is Brady Novotny with Passions Collide. Brady Novotny and Passions Collide, title track of his current album, and he's here with us to talk about it right now, as a matter of fact. Hello, Brady.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Glad to have you. This is a real guitar paradise here today. We're pleased to have a couple of great guitarists here with us, and you're next in line, so I'd like to hear a little bit about you. I know you've got this current album, Passions Collide, and we're going to be able to preview your next release here in after we talk with you for a while. Tell us about where you came from, a little bit of your history.
Yeah. Well, you guys are definitely getting your fill of musical notes tonight, that's for sure.
I absolutely love it. That's one of the things I love about doing this show. I get a great tune collection.
I started playing when at the age of 10, classical music, rock guitar, nylon string guitar. But then I turned to a love for flamenco guitar. And that Spanish sound. So, hence the reason for the album is about, my two musical passions colliding, which is flamenco music and rock guitar. So
absolutely.
So that's kind of the little gist of what's going on the album. Those are two of my biggest influences, I would have to say.
That seems to be a prevailing trend there. Musicians who get into it around 9, 10 years old, give or take, and explore several different paths. In your case, flamenco, which is unusual for a rock guitarist, or at least in my experience. And, of course, Bill Pierce was just on, and he was into classical violin, as a matter of fact. So, it's interesting to see the evolution. But as I mentioned to Bill, the experience and the learning definitely plays a part in the development of what you become, and it has obviously helped you. I was listening to Passions, and while it's definitely not flamenco music, I won't try to sell that concept at all. There is a sense of the feel of that style of music, which I guess only a guitarist like yourself could really understand and interpret. But there's a slightly different sound, a different tinge to it, and I could see where that could have been drawn from a flamenco style.
Yeah, a lot of the chord progressions are kind of taken from the flamenco style, and a lot of the harmonies are taken from that, and the chord and the scale choices and stuff like that are really based off of the flamenco modes. And then, of course, in the middle of that song, there's a little flamenco breakdown, and that track has just about, 10 seconds of it. And then, but some other tracks have a little bit more predominant flamenco nylon string sound to them.
Well, you and Bill have the same dastardly tendency that I used to hate in my broadcast days, especially my earlier years before I really became aware of this trick. And I was the type of DJ that I got into the music. When there was a tune on, my head was in that tune, and I wasn't really prepared for anything else. And you both have those danged false endings there that used to kill me. I would think I was being so smart, and the tune would end, and I'm not going to catch me again. I'm onto it this time, and the next thing I know, I'm talking over the rest of the tune. But I know, John Bon Jovi, you never did anything like that, did you?
Oh, no. I never caught a false ending because I was perfect in every way.
Right.
Brady, I was going to say, I thought I caught a little bit of influence from Andre Segovia in that, and
sure.
and that made me smile. I had mentioned to Bill a few minutes ago, about my dad's guitar. My dad used to play a little bit of flamenco guitar, and he was just a gargantuan fan of the flamenco style, and of course Andre Segovia, who, really could do no wrong. So it's really very pleasant to me to hear, a rock tune with a melody, with a I don't know what's the word that I'm looking for. It's escaping me at the moment, but there's a melody to it, and then the natural segue into that flamenco riff and then out of it again. That caught me by surprise, and I was very pleased to hear that.
Oh, well, thank you. That was hopefully one of the goals, to kind of throw the ear off a little bit, but then it was pleasing, hopefully. So, yeah.
Well, it's always something that you can really get off on.